Shunda Jenkins. Welcome to Inspiring Woman Podcast. Each week, I share an inspiring story, motivation, and tips to help you get through your day. If you're ready to live an inspiring life, tune in for today's motivation. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. Eleanor Roosevelt. Hello, my name is Shunda Jenkins, and welcome back to my podcast. I am a mindset coach, and this month's theme is growth mindset. The guests for each episode this month embody dedication, resilience, and focus. Today's guest speaker is Jennifer Schmitt. She is a spiritual intuitive coach. Today, she'll be sharing her journey and how she discovered her purpose as a spiritual intuitive coach. Welcome, Jennifer Schmitt, to the show today. How are you today?
Hey, Shunda, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. I really have been looking forward to this. I'm so excited to be here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so excited. And I'm glad that we got to do this today because I thought I was supposed to meet with you on Friday. And I was like, oh my God, I'm glad that you messaged me because my calendar, I had something else.
No, we're all on the same page. Something just told me to do that. So I listen to those voices now.
Yes, I'm glad because somebody needs to listen to it for me. All right. Can you share with my audience about yourself? Because I know a little bit about you, but can you share with my audience just a little bit about yourself? What is a spiritual intuitive coach and just anything you want to share. What about you? Who are you? Where you're from? Everything, anything you want to give us.
So to start out just kind of easy, I am a wife and I'm also a mother of two little girls. I live in southwestern Indiana, kind of in the little toe of the boot. And I started this journey into coaching a couple of years ago. I'm also a Reiki master teacher, and I started that process even several years before that. And that's also a really interesting story with how I got involved in that. It kind of goes back to, everything kind of traces back even to childhood, but about 17 years ago, I really started diving into spiritualism and how that looks for me and developing my gifts that I have been given. And because I had these things that happened to me as I grew up, I could feel energy from people, from things, from places, and I never knew why. And it wasn't until I really kind of started honing in and practicing these gifts that I started to develop this connection to my higher consciousness. And then I kind of got out of it, like life got in the way, and because it's something like a muscle you have to practice. And so I kind of got out of it. Life kind of got in the way, got very busy, and I shifted. But I always had this calling in the back of like just coming to me. And it finally just got so strong to where I couldn't deny it anymore. And when I had my first daughter back in 2015, she had colic. And my husband at the time was working night shift. So I was home with her by myself. And it was extremely trying. It was upsetting to both of us. It was exhausting. And I developed postpartum anxiety. Wow. And as an empath my entire life, I always kind of dealt with anxiety throughout my lifetime. But this was really strong. And I am also not one of these people that handles medications for that sort of thing very well. Like the side effects, I really have a hard time with. So I was seeking other forms of alternative medicine. And one of my friends actually said to me, well, go get Reiki done. And I'm like, what is Reiki? I didn't even know what it was. And so I went and I had my first session. I'm like, I'm into this kind of thing. So I'm just going to like book my first session. And I did. And when I left that session, it literally felt like the weight of the world had lifted off of me. And I cried the whole way home.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure I cried the entire first session as well, but like that, I cried the whole way home. And it was just such an amazing release of all of that stuff that I had been holding on inside of my body. I proceeded to go and get regular Reiki sessions, probably for about a year or so before I realized that not only did I want to do this for others, but I was also a healer myself. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't believe in coincidences. I think that you're put on your path for a reason. And this also explained a lot of why my hands always got so hot and tingled around certain people. And it's because people that were in need of healing, my hands would just light up. And now that I know what that is, it's like, oh, okay, I can look back on my life and say, oh, this is exactly why that happened. But moving forward, it just kind of, all of these things, kind of the dominoes just kind of started falling into place. And I actually started out on my journey as a coach in trauma and anxiety, because as somebody who's experienced a lot of trauma and anxiety in my life, that was something that's very near and dear to my heart. And it wasn't until probably within the last 6 months or so that I've really started being pulled and called back to this spiritual, intuitive side of me, and kind of realigning. Not that I'm completely stepping away from the trauma and anxiety, because I think that also gets encompassed with what I do, but leaning more towards the spiritualism and the intuitive and the gifts, because the body, mind, and spirit do all operate in tandem with each other. And when we heal one thing, it affects the other. And when one thing is out of balance, it affects the others. And so we need to look at all of those different angles for healing.
Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. The fact that your hands were getting warm when you knew you had to heal someone. And I never thought about that as an impact. I never thought about why my hands were getting warm or where they were getting sweaty. In that moment, I just thought like maybe I just have a nervous issue. But knowing that now, is very important as an impact and, in my new path, to know that, okay, this is what my body is telling me. This is what it's communicating to me. That's awesome. You teach me.
Our bodies always know what's going on. And especially for people that are of the highly sensitive nature, empathic and clairsentient, like, we know when something is amiss. And I know I'm so tuned in that I even can tell through a text message when something is amiss. It's hard to explain. But it literally takes over my entire body. And I've learned to really tap into that and listen to that rather than kind of poo-pooing it off or brush it off. Because I think a lot of people that don't know what's happening, it's easy for them to do that and say, oh, it's nothing, oh, it's just nothing. But once you really know what that is, you can actually learn to strengthen that gift, because they are gifts.
They are. So knowing that, what areas will you be working with your clients on now as a spiritual intuitive coach?
Yes, any and all. Really, honestly, the things that I have been very drawn to are helping people find their purpose, helping people find that missing piece. Because there are so many people, and if this is you, if anybody out there is listening and you feel like you are running through life and that you feel like something is missing and you are constantly looking behind every door, under turning every rock, seeking for this thing that you may not even know what it is, but you just know something exists that you need to find, and you'll know it when you find it, you need to talk to me because I can help you find that thing. But also people that have things like this, like you and I were just discussing, things that they're experiencing within their bodies, and things that aren't really explained, or that they're questioning about themselves. I want to talk to you too, because I can help you strengthen these gifts that you have and really dive into where this came from and what's actually happening with you, because you're not alone. And this isn't something that is wrong with you. And I think that is a really common misconception, is that other people's opinions and societal conditioning has completely stopped so many people in their tracks from strengthening their gifts, because we all have them. We all have these abilities to some degree in varying parts, and it's up to us to open them up and explore them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it just gets shut down and blocked. And I hate that, because I just knowing what I know and knowing what, and you knowing what you know, like, we know how freeing and how much more aligned with ourselves that we feel when we encompass those gifts into our lives, and we use those into our coaching and into even our total body wellness. It's just something that component really honestly needs to exist within ourselves, and we need to explore that more within ourselves.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think it's very important. Like today, I actually share that people, our identity is tied into like everything that we were told. Whether someone told you and your beliefs, the way you were raised, your experiences. And so to uncover your identity is like cleaning that mirror. I read the Jay Shetty book about Think Like a Month. He was talking about in the ushroom, the mirror was dirty. And so his teacher said when you clear it off, that's who you discover, how you discover your identity. But you have to remove the dust and the layers to uncover who you are. And so that you're not wrapped up in like, I need to do this because if I do this, my mom is going to be upset with me. If I do this, my dad is going to be upset with me. Our friends are going to, neglect me. And I said, do you want your identity to be tied into people acceptance, or you're accepting yourself? It's very important to know that. Who acceptance are you looking for? Your own or everyone else? Because if you look for acceptance in everyone else, then you're always going to be unhappy. You're always going to be unsatisfied, and you're always going to feel empty on the inside. So that's very important to uncover that identity.
And that's not living, and that's not living in alignment with yourself.
No.
And you are going to feel that, like inside of your body, it's going to feel wrong and not right. And no amount of anything, no other person, no making more money or having this car, or if or when things happen, is going to suffice that feeling, that missing puzzle piece, until you take that back for yourself.
Yes, I definitely agree.
It really, yeah, totally, yes.
I really do. And I'm so glad that you're passionate about this, because I'll just be trying to get people to do what I do. I'm like, you should be a coach. You should do this, because it's so many people that need this. Oh. So I'm so glad to meet other coaches that are, are on the same, wavelength, or doing things like helping people uncover things and then discovering their identity, even though we're all doing it differently. We're all are helping them uncover themselves, not trying to make them into somebody else, but make them into who they are. And so that's very important. Yes. Even with my kids, I try to tell them that you need to make sure you like this, not because everyone else likes it, but because you want it, and ask behind it, is this something I like? Or I'm doing this because others are doing it and I should be doing it because others are doing it? No.
Well, and it's funny because my former life, before I became a life coach, I actually, I've got my degree in interior design, by the way. So that's my background, my background. But I used to work for a local plumbing supply house here, and I was the manager in the showroom. And one of the biggest things that absolutely drove me crazy, and it was really funny, is that people would come in, either build, and even doing this, building a house or remodeling a bathroom. And the big thing to do now is to get rid of the tubs and to go with these huge walk-in showers. And people would be so concerned with removing a tub from a bathroom. Well, what if we sell the house later on down the road and the new buyer wants a tub? And I would just stop and look at them and go, what do you want? Why are you sinking your money into this huge room? I'm like, are you getting ready to sell the house? And they're like, well, no. Well, then why are you sinking your hard-earned money into this remodel for someone else that may or may not even like what you put in here? do this for yourself. And honestly, it's the same concept just transferred over into what I do now, because it's like we seem to want to people please a
Yes.
lot, and we want people to like us, and that's just human nature.
Mm-hmm.
And but how often are you living your life for someone else's opinion or perception of you versus what is your authenticity? What is your true authentic nature? And I think that's something that we need to show more of,
Mm-hmm.
and that we need to really dive into that part of ourselves, because I think a lot of people also get into these identity crises when that occurs, because we are so trying to be in alignment with other people's versions of ourselves than our own, and it just doesn't work. And this is where a lot of like I said, identity crises come in, and a lot of habits, and even the traumas and anxieties that take place in our
Mm-hmm.
lives, because we're not, unless there's a physical thing that has happened, we're living our lives for other people and not for ourselves.
And that's where it's really upsetting, because it's so much freedom in freeing yourself from that. And I was a people pleaser. I was a people pleaser. I was making sure that everyone was okay. And if everyone was okay, I was okay. But was I okay? Really? Was I really okay because everyone was okay? No, I was not okay.
No.
And when you make yourself okay, when you heal yourself and you discover your purpose, what you'll realize is that everything will be okay. Everything in your life will be okay. And
Yes.
everyone around you will be okay, because you're operating in a healed body. So
Yes.
you're able to help them. You're able to help them see life differently and uncover their purpose also. And so I had to ask myself, what does Shunda want? Not Shunda wants this goal because Shunda can do this for others, but I want this goal because I want to do this for myself, because I was not doing anything for myself.
Right.
Everything was tied to everyone else. Even if I got some benefits in it, but it was still tied to everyone else. And that's not fulfillment. I need it to be
No.
tied to me, so that I can be proud of myself, so I can know that I did this for me. And that's important. That makes you feel so much better when you look at it and you say, I did this because I was waking up. I knew I was capable of doing this. I did this every single day. I made an effort to develop myself because I
Yes.
wanted it, not because my mom said you need to develop yourself and do this and do that. No, it's because Shunda decided, yes, I need to develop myself, but I want to develop myself for me, you know?
Yes. Well, and you show up differently in the world too, whenever you do
Yeah.
it for yourself. And, even like us as coaches, our clients are so super important to us. And the reason why we do the work that we do is for them. But the reason why we also do the work that we do is for ourselves as well. And this
Mm-hmm.
is why you were talking about the alignment part. We talk about alignment, and me doing the trauma and anxiety, and you as a health coach, like those were things we're very passionate about, but there was still that component for us that's missing. And whenever you found the mindset and started working that way, sometimes you might even feel like goosies all over your body. And that's when you're onto something. And
Yeah.
when I started making the shift, my coach called me an intuitive explorer. And as soon as she said those words to me, like my entire body lit on fire.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
God.
oh, yes, I'm an intuitive explorer. Like, how much more awesome of a title can that be? So I'm like, and really, truly I am. And I want to help people dive deep into themselves, because the reason why we do what we do is also we're in a service role industry. Of course, it's
Mm-hmm.
for other people, but it's also for ourselves. And if we're not in alignment with ourselves, with what we're doing, it's going to come across to our clients, and they're going to know that. And
Yeah.
our goal is to bring those people to us that are aligned with us and our purpose and what we're here to do on earth. And
Yes.
so once I fully stepped into this role and kind of shut down this version of myself before, it's like you had said, it's freeing. It's very liberating because it's almost like the people pleasing version of yourself drops completely away. And you're like, you know what? I don't care what people have to say about me or what I do, because this is it, baby. And this is who I am. And it's a game changer for not only business, but our own lives, our own
It is.
personal lives. And it's incredible that we've spent so much time people pleasing and feeling that and feeling out of alignment. And really, truly, that's what people pleasing is not living in alignment with yourself. Because once you are living in alignment, the people pleasing automatically goes away.
It does. It does. And it's so liberating. It really, it really is. And I was so glad that dropped, because it was like, I thought that was something I had to hold on to, because that's our identity. We feel like we need to hold on to these things, because what happens if we release it?
Yeah.
Something better happens.
Yeah. If I don't, well, and it's just like anything else, any of those other fear-based things, perfectionism, always needing to follow the rules, and just all of these varying things you learn, like, can drop away. I mean, I'm a spiritual intuitive. This isn't something that is normally widely accepted by society. And, and I know that, and I understand that, and I'm completely and totally fine with that. Like, it's not that I don't care, but I am me, and this is who I am, and I'm happy, and I am completely in alignment with myself right now, and I am loving it. No going back ever again.
No. And that's important too. I also touched on that, like, just being okay that some people are going to look at you different, but it's okay to be different. Why be the same?
No, we weren't ever created to be the same. There's almost 8 billion people on this earth, and none of us have the exact same thoughts or have the exact, like, none of us. We're all unique anyway. So there's no such thing as norm. There's no such thing as normal. We're all here walking our own individual paths that's meant for us, that's lit up for us, and that's not anybody else's business.
Oh, it's not. All right, so for someone who may be interested in learning about spiritual healing, like,
Yes.
Can you share with them the purpose and the benefits of spiritual healing?
Sure. So, well, there's a lot of benefits.
Shorten it down, I guess.
Yeah, shorten it down. So there's physical benefits of it. Somebody has back pain, unexplained pains, and things of that nature. Heck, even if you have injuries, it's really good for helping to manage the pain. So pain management is definitely a thing. Healing is also to speed the process of healing up. And then on, like, the mental and emotional levels, again, people with anxiety, I have helped quite a bit kind of unplug that machine. As I always say, whenever you're in a spin of anxiety, it's almost like being on the gravitron and you're pinned up against the wall and it's spinning really fast. Well, Reiki kind of helps unplug that. So it just takes your body, it resets the nervous system. Wow. And so it kind of helps bring you down to a more manageable level. Yeah. And so that's always fun to you can just see people relax in session. Like, you can just see it kind of just start melting away. Insomnia is also something that it's really good for, but it's also good for your spiritual connection. Mm-hmm. Heightening those gifts and heightening your intuition and heightening other, gifts and abilities that you may have. Like, there's so many different components. Like, there's nothing that Reiki isn't good for or energy healing isn't good for. Because I also work, I do a lot with Reiki. And Reiki also encompasses the chakra system as well. But I also do a lot of just work with that. some muscle movement, different somatics and things like that. I kind of walk clients through in session and can have them move their body in such a way to kind of release some things. So there's a lot of things that I can even do through Zoom, through the phone. Not everything has to be hands-on. Wow. So that's also a really good thing about energy, is that energy is everywhere. It's all around us. So it's not something that I like, it's already there. And we as humans, we have the ability to heal ourselves. Like whenever you fall down and you skin a knee, your body heals itself. So we have the capabilities. The Reiki helps get it there faster. So it helps move that energy and kind of direct it a little more into where it needs to go. And energy does what it's going to do, though. So it's got a kind of a little mind of its own. I mean, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can just be manipulated and moved. And this is exactly what we do as energy workers, as light workers. So it's really fun. It's a lot of fun to do and to help people.
Wow. And so what is some advice you would give to someone who wants to try the spiritual healing, but unsure if the healing will work?
So I actually like it when people are curious about it or even a little skeptical about it. I love questions. I want people to be able to feel free to ask me about these things, because again, this is something that has been considered taboo for so long. And so yes, people are going to be curious. They're going to have questions. They're going to be skeptics out there, and that's okay. As long as you're open to trying it and receiving the energy, like, let me in, I'm going to do what I got to do. And you're going to feel so much better when you leave this table, or even be in session, because I can do things distantly too. I can do, like I said, things through the Zoom call or even through the phone. So it's not something that just has to be done hands-on. I would say, try it. Yep. If you don't like it, you don't ever have to do it again, but at least then because so many people, like I said, had that person, my friend that suggested Reiki to me 6 years ago, had I dismissed it, I wouldn't be where I am today. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why I am where I am is because I went there. And I had that session and I learned what it did for me and what it can do for others. And this is why I would do it first, because I know I've experienced myself. So try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. And if you love it, keep coming back. Yeah. So that's my advice. Like I said, if there's anybody that has any questions, please ask me. There's a lot of information even on my website too, because I try to put all of the frequently asked questions on there. But if there's something else that pops up for anyone that has questions about it, please ask. I want you to ask.
All right. So lastly, what inspires you to get up every day to show up for yourself and operate in your purpose?
Oh gosh, so many things. My children, I have our oldest daughter is very much on this path with me as well. So I'm kind of here to help her along her journey as well. And it's navigating that, because this is also new to me, to help, somebody who's very young navigate this part of themselves in this time that we're living as well. This has been a really rough year for a lot of people. And especially people like us who are feeling everything. And so that's been a little bit of a struggle with that. But my kids are the reason why I do everything I do. But I also have to say, knowing that there is someone out there, and there's always more than one, but at least just one person out there that needs to hear what I have to say, or that needs my help in some way, is another huge reason for me getting up and being my driver for everything that I do every single day.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Because you know your purpose, and that's why I get up every day. Yes. I know it's somebody I'm going to help. I know that what I'm saying, they may not be interacting with the post, but they're feeling it. They know
Yes.
that what I'm saying, they need to hear it at that moment. And when it resonates with them, when they feel it and when they connect with it, they're going to know that that was for me.
Yes, for sure.
I really enjoyed
And a
this.
lot of people, and you're right, a lot of people, well, yeah, me too. I'm
I
loving
know
this
it.
conversation.
I really enjoyed this.
And that's what I've learned too, is that a lot of people will kind of sit on the sidelines and watch. And just because there's not a lot of engagement or people aren't commenting doesn't mean that they're not watching, because they are. And so you get up every single day and you show up and you put what you feel needs to go out into the world at that moment, out into the world. And that's, again, part of the intuitive nature of what I do. But it's like, what needs to get said right now? What needs to get done? What needs to, what do I feel like is going on that even one person needs to heal? And sometimes when I put things either in my story or even on Facebook, and I try to keep things light, honestly. I am shifting a lot of things to online now instead of via social media. But when I post things like in my story, and chances are it's not necessarily a self-reflection, but it's something that I've seen, or sometimes I'll even find a common denominator. I'll get up and I'll see things in a post where several people are having the same kind of issue, just in a little different way. And I will find the meme for that and I'll post it. And I'm like, somebody's going to see this, because chances are this is the theme for today, apparently. And so somebody needs to see this. And so it's just, yeah, I operate that way. Whatever I feel gravitated to in the moment is what I throw out there. And I just feel that, knowing that I am of the feeling energy nature of people, like obviously somebody's throwing something my way and I'm catching it and I'm putting it right back out for you. So yeah. I hear you, even whenever you don't think I do. I'm hearing.
I do the same thing. I'm in the shower. That's my thinking area sometimes. And I'm in the shower and I'm like, oh, wow, I need to talk about that today.
Yes.
Sometimes
it just hits you.
It hits me and I'm like, I need to hurry up and get out the shower so I can write it down.
Yes. I'm like, maybe I need to get one of those. Maybe Santa needs to bring me one of those, like, waterproof recorders, so I can just keep it into the shower and like record myself saying things. So yeah. Oh, Santa, if you're listening.
Santa.
Yeah.
She needs a recorder. Everyone heard that. Yeah. So I really enjoy you coming on today. I really did. And taking time out of your day, because your time is very valuable. And you have a wonderful family that you could be with, but you're here with me today. And so I just want to say thank you.
Well, Shunda, thank you. Oh my gosh, that means the world to me. I have enjoyed this so much, and I can't thank you enough for asking me to come on and having me here. This has been great. This has been so fun.
We got to stay in contact.
Yes.
I got a new friend. Right.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
All right. So thanks for tuning in and supporting the podcast. I hope this has been inspiring. I will be sharing in the comments below how you can find Jennifer Schmitt. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye.
Bye.